Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Jenny here, the Uncrafty Crafter. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Having a pretty decent week here myself. So the reason that I'm making this video today is to show you guys how to use these CHONKY Oh Snap Dotz for Multiplacers. So I just recently launched these snap dots for your Multiplacers. And with the instruction sheet that comes with your orders, there's a QR code on there that you can scan and it will bring you to this video. So apparently that's how you probably found this video, is by scanning that little QR code. So, but before I could make the QR code, I had to make the video. So that's what we're doing today, is to show you guys how to use these for your Multiplacers. So previously, and in the eye up here in the top right corner, I will have a link to the other Oh Snap Dotz tutorial for the original Oh Snap Dotz for your single placers. But if you're just stumbling upon this product for the Multiplacers, then yeah, I also make them in much smaller dots for your single placers for diamond painting. So let's get started. This is the first release. It is the candy corn scent. So you will receive them in a package like this, and then you will have 12 large chunky Oh Snap Dots. And for multi-placing, I've got 4 different ones. I've got 2 metal ones and 2 plastic multi-placers. So we've got a little bit of everything here. I have a 4 placer in the plastic, and I have a 7 placer in the plastic. And I have this one from Diamond Art Club, and I can't remember, it doesn't say on it what it is, but I'm thinking it's either a 7 or 8 placer. It's somewhere in there. And then this is a 5 placer metal multi-placer. So a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything in between. So let's get started. We will get started with, I guess we'll go with plastic first, since they're the smaller ones. And we will go ahead now. So what you will do is you will just remove the clear plastic sheet with the glue dots on it, okay? And I just usually lay it on top of the release sheet. But what you'll do is you'll take either your tweezers or your fingers. I'll show you both. But for this first round, we'll do the tweezers. And what I like to do, I hope that you can see this good. Let me just sort of scoot you down into the camera so you can see a little bit better. Let me lay that plastic over top so I don't get it stuck to the canvas. That would not be good, would it? Okay, so what I do is I take my tweezers and I just kind of shoo fly. Don't bother me, I'm busy. So I just take my tweezers and I just roll it like this into a snake or a line. Just take my tweezers and scooch it until it's in a line like that. And then I just grab it with my tweezers, pull it off of the plastic. Okay. And then there you have it, just like so. And then you can either use your finger or tweezers to place it into the multi-placer. And I just stick it right on there like that, so that it's on the edge. And then I take my tweezers and just sort of push it in. Now, if you pull straight out, sometimes the tweezers will pull the glue dot straight out as well. Sometimes you get lucky and it doesn't do that. So I just kind of push it in there until it's in. So this one is easily filling up a 4 placer. Just try to make sure it's good. It doesn't have to be perfect, because what happens is is these glue dots are a little bit spongy at first. And you can see there's some excess. Now, I wouldn't consider that a large amount of excess. I actually prefer to have a little bit of excess at the top like that, just because, like I said, it is spongy at first. And before we do anything else, let's lay these back down on there and move them off to the side. Okay, so we'll get started and I'll show you how these work. But like I was saying, I do like a little bit of excess just because these are spongy at first, and it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of shifts and shapes, and I just prefer it like that. And whenever, if I do have a little bit of excess starting to come down along onto the side, I'll just take my tweezers and kind of pluck at it. So anyway, it doesn't cause a problem for moi. But we'll go ahead and start with this number 3. There's a chunky section here of color blocking. This, by the way, is Eros and Psyche from Swartz Designs. I will be sure to have that linked in the description box below. My girl, Abigail, has this beautiful diamond painting in her shop. I'm loving these colors. These pastel colors are giving me life. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start here in this section. And whenever I first start using my glue dots, I try to dirty it up just by pressing on it a little bit. And then whenever I first make my first go, sometimes what you'll notice is it looks like see this middle dot right there, the second dot here from the top, looks like it's kind of coming loose from the rest of them. It kind of makes me think of like monster teeth, like vampire, not vampire, but like monster Halloween jack-o'-lantern teeth or something. It cracks me up. But that's normal with my glue dots. It's not that the drill isn't sticking. It's just that it has to do with the sponginess, I guess, of the texture of the glue dot. And so the thing that I recommend is when you first start, kind of be a little bit of a hard presser at first, okay? You can see it's a lot better if you press kind of firmly. But after a few passes, it will stop doing that. If you have a time where you stop diamond painting for a little bit, and you come back to it after a few hours, it might do that again at the beginning. I don't know if it's like a temperature thing or just I'm not sure, but it does that even with my single placer sometimes at first. But you can see the more you use it, the more it'll snap. I love that sound. Okay. All right. That is with the 4-placer, the plastic. And you can see, like I said, if you start getting a little bit too much excess, like right here, if you start to see it starting to like kind of get a little bit meh, I just take my tweezers and just kind of pluck at it a little bit. So whatever excess you don't like, it's easier for me to use tweezers. It's actually wanting to stay right there. So yeah, none of it's wanting to come off just yet, which is good. All right, so we will move on to, I'm going to keep this color because that's the color I'm going to continue to use. I'm going to lay that plastic back down. But all right, that was the fat plastic 4-placer. Now we're going to use the plastic 7-placer. And these are empty. I've never used these placers before. I mean, they've not been used. They're brand new placers. So we'll see what it takes to fill the 7-placer. So I'll just flip that around. And then instead of using tweezers this time, just in case, you know, you don't have tweezers, you can use your finger. And what I do is I'll just take my finger like this and just sort of roll it like so. And then you can just pluck it off there with your finger. Okay. And then for the 7 placer, you can see here. Oops. Oh, if I can get it to let loose. There we go. So I've got one side of it. So it's going to take 2 to fill the 7 placer. Okay. And if we have excess, I'll show you what to do with the excess. So we have 2 here. So start at the other side. Oh, come on, work with me. Sometimes it's easier with tweezers depending on, there we go. All right, so then after you have it stuck to the edge there, I just take my tweezers and push it in there. And if it does want to come out like that, what you want to do is use your thumb to hold it down with the tweezer like that. So you just press in with the tweezer, hold your thumb over top to hold it in there to keep it from popping out of there. Okay. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It looks like a little snaky snake. And sometimes I'll do that. I will take my tweezer at like the whole edge of it and just sort of, you know, scooch it down in there like that. Okay, I think we're good. Have a little bit of excess coming out of the top, but that's okay. If you're not sure, you can still just push it in there. I would rather have too much than not enough. You can see there's some excess on this corner right here, especially. Okay, so what you want to do in that case, if it's too much for you, then I just take on the side of my canvas, or sometimes if it's too sticky, it will pull out and stick to the canvas. So sometimes I'll just use the release paper and just kind of, you know, mash it around like that. And then instead of taking my fingers, because sometimes it'll make a mess. Uh-oh. I'll just pull that little excess piece off there. And then just kind of stick it back down in there with my thumb. And there you go. So it's not going to be as clean as, say, like putty or wax, just because of it's glue. It's different. And what I was going to say a while ago is what I do with these little excess pieces is I just stick them back onto the plastic. And when I get, you know, a big enough little ball, like right there, like right here, I'll just put that in my single placer. Waste not, want not, right? Okay, so after I make sure it's good and dirtied up, like so, I don't have a single placer in this pen right now. I just pulled these out to have something to use different sizes in, so. Okay, this is the 7 placer, so we're gonna go ahead and start here. So I have my 7, and you can see again, they're trying to like loosen a little bit. So just kind of go back in and press really good till you know they're on there. I'm a hard presser, so it's usually not a problem for me. There we go. All right, and we will place them. There we go. Another row. And if you start feeling like, if you feel like it's still too like sticky, you can just keep, you know, you might have to dirty it up with the palm of your hand or your pants or, you know, whatever for the first little bit until it's, I guess, primed would be a good word. But if you've used actual like glue dots in the past, then you understand that process. You know what that means. So if not, then that's just a little bit of a learning curve to using glue dots, is that sometimes you have to keep dirtying it up for a little bit until it's not so super sticky. Okay. So I did get one extra on there that did not need to go there. We'll put it in that spot. Okay. So that is the 7-placer. All right. Now we're going to move to, let me shake me some more drills out here. Now we're going to move to the Multiplacers. This one again is the Diamond Art Club. Like I said, it's not numbered, and I can't remember. We'll see whenever I pick them up. How many? Let me see if I can figure it out just by like width. There's nothing in here right now. It's empty, but I'm just trying to gauge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think it's about a 7-placer-ish, give or take. Lay this plastic back down. Alrighty, now this time I'm going to use my tweezers. Just going to roll one up, make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Just pull it till it's like so. You can roll it between your fingers if you want to. You don't have to, but so this one is going to take 2 as well. So we've got one here on, I hope this is like not blurry. But I do like to use my thumb once I push down on the glue dot. I like to use my thumb to kind of just hold it in place so it don't pop out. And I'm just kind of scooching it so that it's like poofed up a little bit over the top. Like I said, I do prefer it to be a little bit more, have a little bit of excess than super duper flush, just because I feel like it grabs hold of the drills better that way. I don't know. So we're going to grab a second one, but I don't know that I'll use the entire second one for the 7-placer. Okay. I just prefer using my tweezers. Yeah, so we're not going to need the whole 7 or the whole second one. So what I'm going to do is just going to lay that in there like so onto that corner. And one thing you don't want to do with glue dots is like stretch it to try to get it to fill a section, because what happens is it shrinks back to its size originally. So I like to make sure that I get it all the way up to the edge, to the corner, the left side or the right side. And because I'm one of those that really likes to like pick up like 2 drills at a time using the right and left corner, you know. All right, so with the excess here, since we do have some, I'm just going to again use my release paper. The good thing about these metal multiplacers is they kind of like cut through that glue if you press hard enough, which I think it may have. And then I'll just take my tweezer and pull that excess off around the side. Like so. And I got a nice little extra chunk there. So that, again, I'm gonna put over here with my other one. And that right there, folks, is a good single placer fill. Waste not, want not. All right, so let's try this one here and see how this one goes. I like to dirty it up, but now keep in mind, these multiplacers here from DAC are very thin. They're thin both ways. They're thin this way, right? In the thin part that goes vertical. But then the actual well of the diamond painting tip or multiplacer tip is also sort of, it just doesn't take a lot to fill one of these up. And so I noticed that sometimes I have to finagle around with my glue dots when I first put them in. Sometimes they'll want to pull out. So I just have to make sure that I'm really good and, you know, dirtying it up a little bit. Really good. All right, so I have my dots on there. Again, you can see that the spongy at first tries to make it look like they're coming off. So just give it a good firm press, okay? At first, and then we will lay some of these down here. That one needed to scooch over, and I don't have a single tip on that one. Which one of these? Nope, wasn't that one. It was that one. Alrighty. Okay, yep, right one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm only using 4 for this next little line here. I hear a puppy. Okay. And one thing that you can do if you do notice the Oh Snap Dotz or the Chunky Oh Snap Dotz, either one, not wanting to work well in your any like multi-placer metal tip, or they stick really well in the plastic ones, and they stick really well in these too, but it's because this little well here is much deeper than this one, and so it's just got more surface to hold on to, you know. But if you do notice a problem with that, if it's new, it should be fine. But if you've used wax or putties that are scented or other things in one of these, just use some soapy water and a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, and, you know, scrub it out and then make sure it's dry really well before you fill it. And you can do the same thing with your single placer tips too. I do have stainless steel single placers in the shop that you can buy as an add-on to the Oh Snap Dotz, the original scented ones, the original size ones. And they work really well in those tips, just because it's a deeper well. Whereas the copper ones that we usually get, like these, aren't as deep, I guess. But anyways, I do still use the copper ones for my Oh Snap Dotz too. Like this one, I've been using it forever, and it's got a dot in it. But it just takes a little bit of, like, you know, getting used to it, I guess. Like priming it, so to speak, if that makes sense. When I first started using the Oh Snap Dotz in that one particularly, they may have came out a few times, but then, you know, after a while, they're like, okay, we'll stay in here now. they just kind of get used to it. All right, so I've placed a few rows with that. So now we're going to use the Multiplacer. This one is like the kind that you can buy on Amazon or a lot of different budget sites. So we'll use that one. I'm going to switch colors real quick though, just because I've got another shade here picked out for multi-placing. So we'll use that color. All right, so to fill this up, same thing, same process. You can use your fingers or your tweezers. I'm just gonna use my tweezers. And we'll see how many it takes to fill this one up. Sorry, I keep forgetting to make sure this is in the camera view. So just roll it up like a little line or a little snaky snake. And then put it in here like so. And I do, like I said, put it over to a little bit of farther to the past the corner, just so that you make sure that you know, because when you push it in with your tweezers, it's gonna go on in there like it should, like it's supposed to. I could just about get away with one in this one, but I have a little bit of a section right here. So, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these little dots that were left over, and I'm just gonna plop one or two of them in there. Yeah, because I got a little bit of extra there. So you can see here. All right, now that's good. So it took one and just a smidge of another. So I'm just gonna kind of rock it like this. There wasn't much excess, and like I said again, I prefer there to be a little bit sticking out of the top so that it's not super duper flush. I prefer that. And as you're diamond painting, if that starts working its way over the edge of your pen, you know, then that's when I'll take my tweezers and just pull it off. But it's the same with regular glue dots for me. I kind of do the same thing that way. All right, so I'm looking for this line. Again, this is a 5-placer. Dirtying it up with the palm of my hand. And just kind of work it around in there till you have them on your pen. And let me find a spot. Here we go. All right, there's a spot that works. Here's some. Scooch that one over. Poppy is down here being rude and crude. I think she's like chewing on her feet or potentially chewing on a toy. All right, so one thing that I really like about my glue dots also is that if, you know how sometimes if you're using different waxes and things and you get like a residue from it on your actual canvas, the glue of your canvas, if a piece of that, you know, comes off into your, you know, squeezes out and gets stuck between drills or whatever, and you pull it up with your tweezers, it doesn't string and make a mess. It comes up really easy, so I like that. I'm trying to see if I can get it to leave a spot. And I'm not really seeing anything on the canvas. But yeah, a lot of times if you have a piece of the glue come up like that, then you just pick it up with your tweezers and it comes off really easy. It doesn't string or make, you know, a mess. Like right here you can see where I've diamond painted, a little bit came out of the edge right here. And so if that bothers you, you know, I just wait until it does that, and then I just kind of pluck it off with my tweezers. Good as new. Perfect. So yeah, it's really easy to use them, to load them, and depending on the person, depending on how much time you spend diamond painting, is what, you know, depends on how much time the glue dots will last you. So, they last a fairly decent long time. So this pen here has, it had glue dots in it until Jolie was using it to diamond paint a pumpkin ornament, and she keeps pulling them out. She keeps pulling the glue dots out. I think she thinks that it's not supposed to be in there. She doesn't like that. So I'm like, okay, chick. All right, you guys. Anyway, this was it for the tutorial. I hope that it was helpful. So let's see, I had 6 to begin with, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So it took me 6, or I had 12 to begin with. Did I say 6? I meant 12. So I have 12 to start, and I've got 6 left. So it took 6 to fill 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplacers. So, and this will last me a good long while. So anyway, if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. I'll also have a link in the description box to the Etsy shop, Oh Snap Crafters Cafe, where you can buy these. And also you can find several different scents of the regular Oh Snap Dotz, which are much smaller in size. Let me see if I have a set of those available. I actually do have some here. They're not in their envelope, but you can see them here compared to these. So this was I can't remember what this scent was, but this was just one that I had in my case. But these are for single placers. You can use them for multi-placers as well. It just takes a lot more of them, right? Or you can get the multi-placer snap dots, the chunky snap dots. All right, so please give the video a thumbs up if you appreciated it. I appreciate you stopping by and watching. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything like that, just give me a shout out in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer your questions. And you can find everything else in the description box below as well. All right. Thumbs up the video before you skedaddle out the door. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I would love to have you hang around more often. Come around more often. We love to have visitors. So click the subscribe button and the all notification so you get notified anytime I come up with another video or go live. We go live every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the most often the times where you will find new Oh Snap Dotz scents and new drops in the shop. So you guys have a great rest of your day and a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.